All right, welcome in everybody. Today is November 6th, and I have a very special guest with me. For those who don't know me, my name is Jack. I'm a coach with Stay Viral. I've been here for about a year, been coaching for about six, but someone that is very important in my life. He is diabolically funny in all shapes and ways and good at content. My buddy Logan. I guess we'll leave your last name out of it for privacy's sakes, but how about we just start by talking about you? I feel like just like where you've been, how you started with content, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, of course. What's up, everyone? My name's Logan. So to give some backstory, Jack and I have been friends for a long time. So this interview is something special right now. But I started TikTok back in 2019, actually, right before COVID. And funny enough, I had just been in the house for too long, and I decided I was going to, try something new. And I didn't really post on social media that much beforehand, but for some reason, I got the itch being in the house all day, getting stir crazy. So I downloaded TikTok and I had some friends that were doing it, like just posting funny content and not really making anything serious of it. And so, I started posting one video a day. That was basically it. And it was mostly just like comedic lifestyle content. It was nothing serious. It was just like, using funny sound bits and audios and, whatever it may be. And I started posting like I said, for about 2 or 3 weeks straight, just one video a day. And I didn't get anything serious for a little while. And then eventually I had just one video that just got picked up and it took off overnight. And there was a few major creators that saw it, started commenting, they started posting it, and from there it just kind of took off. And so I grew my personal TikTok page to almost 100,000 followers within a few months, and it was kind of crazy. And so I kept posting, and this was way before TikTok Shop was even a thing. And so I was just supposed to do this for fun. And then that was, like I said, that was back in 2019, 2020. And then for a while, I stopped posting. I kind of took a hiatus just for, I just had a lot of things going on. And like I said, this wasn't for monetary value. This is just for fun, for posting. And, I had just a lot of things going on. So I took a break for almost 2 to 3 years. I stopped posting on TikTok altogether. And then fast forward to like almost a few months ago, I happened to be on my personal TikTok page and I came across my friend here, Jack's TikTok shop account. And what's funny is his account didn't have his personal info on it, but it was his face. And I was like, wait a second, I know this guy. What is going on here? So I immediately texted Jack because I had heard about TikTok shop, but I hadn't really, dove into it. And so when I saw Jack posting, he was one of my, closest friends and one of my only friends that was at even doing it. So I immediately had to, hit him up and get some info about it. And that's kind of what led me to Stay Viral here. And that's kind of where I found this community and started taking off.
Yeah, no, it's funny how the tables turn because I feel like back in 2020, I saw you blowing up, and obviously we were just doing it for fun. But I was like, I'm gonna start doing some videos, and I think yours was much more creative. I was just like copying some dance videos and stuff like that. But to back up too a little bit, we went to college together. I don't know what our status is with most people that use this app, but we're old in that category. But just around 30 years old, but still. It's still fun. It's still good for all ages. We got a bunch of people in the community that are like 40, 50, stay-at-home moms, dads, everything. So I think we're right in the middle of the pack. But going back to your success back in like 2020, how were you perceived among our peers, aka our buddies? Did you say they were supportive or they were kind of just like giggling a little bit?
Um, Back in 2019, I think most people thought of TikTok as kind of like I wouldn't say cheesy or corny, but I would say it was a lower tier of social media at the time. So people that were posting on it were kind of like they weren't really as interested. And so, I find it funny because obviously, you can't really worry about what other people's opinions are. But obviously, when all your boys are kind of making fun of you for it, it feels a little like, not as fun. But obviously, you keep pushing and, you know, once you make it, it's cool. So it's like it's this funny, thought process that you kind of have to get over this wall to, to get through. But yeah, like I said, fast forward to now, and so I made this TikTok shop account separate from my personal account, and I wanted just kind of like a fresh start because I could have used my personal account and made it into a TikTok shop account, but it was just I wanted a clean slate, and I wanted it to have like fresh algorithm. I wanted it to be just completely for TikTok shop and have it be driven for converting and making sales and making content that people align with. So that's kind of where I started. And like I said, fast forward to right now. Now we're in this together, and it's like all I can say is it's a lot more fun when you have people that are passionate doing it with you that you can bounce ideas off of and get inspiration from. Because you know, being a lone wolf is fun until it's not fun. So like it's much better to have people around you that are supporting you and that you can also bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, no, obviously I gave you a leading question on purpose. Just back when like we were just making those videos for fun, they were supposed to be inherently embarrassing, but like also it was subconsciously like we also like had like a lot of like passion doing like just like videos and like weren't afraid to put ourselves online. So once we found a way to actually like monetize it, I feel like that was like a part like, all right, we like obviously like doing this and now we can actually capitalize off it. So when you saw
Right.
the videos back in, I don't even know when you saw them, but I'm really happy you hopped on the trend. Do you want to talk about some of your wins? And obviously, uh, you talked about the community, just not doing it as a lone wolf. Talk about like stay viral, how that's helped you as well.
For sure. So like I said, when I first saw your video, your TikTok shop video, you were the only person that I had even known that even one knew about TikTok shop and two was actively posting on it, like trying to grow. So that's like kind of where it really struck me because I had heard about it, but I had no friends that are in it. I had no other information other than, it's new. And so, like I said, when I spoke to you about it, you already in Stay Viral. I got connected, joined the community, and that's truly what changed my perspective on it because I realized that this is a new industry, and two, it's it's kind of like the Wild West out here. Like nobody really had cemented what works yet, so it's kind of like everyone was still figuring out their own style, which I like because if once you're late to the game, there's obviously creators that are paving the way for different paths. So you kind of fall into one. But like when it's just beginning, everyone's kind of like freestyling. So I really appreciated that, and that's kind of where I started posting the content. But yeah, so I started. I think my first post on TikTok Shop was in June, June of this year, June 2025. So a few months ago. And in that first month of June, I only posted like 2 or 3 videos because I was still busy doing other things and I was just trying to get my feet wet. And that's when I joined that community. So for the first few weeks when I was in Stay Viral, I was just kind of watching and growing and seeing what other people are doing, what pieces of content they're putting out, what products were working for them. Because I really had no idea what I wanted to post. And I've never really been in a sales role before, so I don't really have any sales experience. I just knew how to make funny social media pieces of content. And so June goes by, I post a couple of videos, I think I make 1 or 2 sales. I sold like literally 1 or 2 things. I made like I think $1, and I was
Can
like,
we pause on that part too? I really your beginning videos. When you made the video about you making one sale was one of my favorite videos of all time. You were like, I want to thank my fans. I want to thank everyone. You had like your girlfriend's balloons in the background. I thought you were celebrating your one sale. Oh, it was iconic.
oh my gosh, I literally was I think I sold like a magnetic phone mount or something that you like put on the wall. You can put it like wherever it goes. It's just like a suction cup thing. And I was like, this works. Holy crap. Like I cannot believe this is happening. So I once I saw I made that first sale, I was in the car. And so I literally just quickly flipped my camera. I was like, hey guys, I just want to say it's real. I made a sale. For anyone that's trying to make a sale, it's possible. So and that's where that video came from. What's funny is that video blew up. Me making one sale and posting about it's like people really resonated with it for some reason. And that video is like that video got more views than any of my videos that I made was trying to sell stuff in. So that's when I started realizing like the authentic content is what hits. And so that was, another gear that shifted for me is like talking to the camera as if you're like right now, like on FaceTime with your friend is like
Mhm.
such a smoother way to relate to people than having, a much more robotic, systematic, conversation with the camera of, this is the product. This is what's great about it. You should buy it. Like right now, like this style of content is what's killing it for anyone else that's like very curious on like how to speak to the camera, like having just very calm, cool, collected conversations that like resonate with people are by far the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I think that's always been your strength too. Even like when you're like posting, just like I know you as like a person outside of TikTok or seeing your videos, and like when you're actually just like talking like yourself and you're like saying those weird basically like Mad Lib sentences all combined into one that actually makes sense. Like I'm like he like it's something in his brain is it's sort of screw loose, but there's something right for the content gave it. And that's why I was so happy. I feel like you motivated me to like keep posting. I was so happy when like you joined and stuff. So like having that community is like amazing. But let's talk about like the real winners. Like when did you actually see success?
Yeah, so that was so the first month, like I said, I posted a few videos and I made one sale, and it was like, hallelujah, this works. And so that's the next month, which was like I think July, is when I doubled down and I was like, okay, like I've been seeing a bunch of like my For You page started turning into more TikTok shop content. So I started seeing people saying like, oh, post 3 times a day, 5 times a day, 10 times a day. Like everyone was kind of giving different advice. So I kind of just like averaged it out and what worked for me. And I was like, all right, I'm posting 5 times a day minimum, at least five. If I can do more, I'll do more, but I need to lock in. So I started posting 5 times a day, and after 2 or 3 weeks of that, I had one video just absolutely rip, and it went to almost I think 10, 12 something million views. And then after that, I just had more and more and more videos hitting. And that first month of June, I cleared almost $10,000, and I was like, oh my gosh, 10,000 commission. I sold almost like $100,000 of GMV of products. Um, and that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this is not just side money. This is actual real money. And then then the third month, when I was like, after I had figured out what was working for me and I found some products that were my hero products, and I just started nailing those products over and over again. And then that second month, I made $15,000 commission, and it just kept going up and up and up from there. And I was like, it didn't feel real, like when you were just sitting there on your app, just refreshing it. And it's like a game almost. And it's like TikTok shop in a way, like gamified selling, which I think is like a whole new breakthrough for social media. And I'm sure the other apps are going to start trying to follow it, because this style of format where a creator can just come in and take whatever product off the couch they have or in their house, or whatever it is, and they can just start making videos about it and adding an affiliate link, like that is an actual game changer for one, companies, because they have unlimited marketing now, and two, for the creator, because they don't have to have any I don't want to say qualifications, but they can just start from ground zero. And if they find something that works for them, they can just keep doing it. And it works, one, for the company because they get, sales, and two, for the creator because they get commission, and it's a win-win. So it's just like it's a full circle kind of way of making money for the business, for the person that's selling the content, and for other people that are just making videos themselves that want to, start taking a little bit of commission to the side.
I it's so funny that you said like gamify TikTok because that's like I don't know, we'll keep it PG, but I was late at night and I took like a gummy, let's just say, and I was like thinking the exact same thing. And I was like, this is a game. Like I'm literally watching like the scoreboard, I'm watching everything.
Right.
And then I like
Right.
how you said like there's people that just do like one video every day and they're making like 50K. And there's people that say like bottom up funnel 30. So you
Right.
found your own path, just being like, I'm gonna do five. This is how I'm gonna like strategize. This is how I'm gonna like win the game essentially. And it sounds like you're kind of nailing it. You
Right.
know, Q4 coming up, but it's just fun to hear like everyone's experience about like TikTok and like how like they win. And obviously, would you say like product research maybe is like another factor of that too?
Yes, definitely. What's funny is you were actually the one that was telling me about seasonal items, which is like huge. So once I realized that obviously holidays are a good time to make sales for anyone, any type of company, but specifically on TikTok Shop Q4, because it has a ton of holidays. It's got Thanksgiving, it's got Christmas, it's got Halloween, it's got a bunch of major holidays that people celebrate are all in this little quarter of the year, that are just jam packed. And so once I realized that seasonal products were just as big, that's kind of when I started, exploring more, and I started seeing other products that were, popping off at the time. And that's when I found that one silly doormat for Halloween.
That's
Um,
what I got it right here. I want to pull it up for everyone. That's why I was laughing when we said Halloween. It was,
yeah. No,
yeah,
that doormat is the funniest thing about that doormat. Yeah, there it is.
you got me to buy it.
There's some people in this house, for keep it PG, but um, and what's funny is that product just popped up on my For You page. And it, like, usually I have this like personal rule of like when I'm trying to find a product that works, I like to see it have at least 1,000 sales. So just so I know it's working. And that product came up on my For You page and was a sponsored ad by the company. It wasn't like someone had made the video. It was just like, it was literally that company promoting their thing. And I clicked on it and it had like 50 sales. And I was like, all right, well, I knew this is a pretty funny doormat, but it had like almost no sales. And I was like, ah. And then funny enough, I had liked the video just so I could save it to come back to it later. And after I liked it, the company DM'd me and said, hey, we'll give you a free one. And I was like, all right, you got me. And
Wow.
so and so they sent it to me, and I made one video for that product, literally one. It was my one and done. I was like, I'll just, because the rule on TikTok is you got to make at least one video, so the sample is verified and you're good. But I made one video, and I literally just put the doormat in front of my door, and I was getting out of my car, and I was just literally put the phone up as if it was FaceTime, and I was made the video. And I said, this is a hilarious doormat. I flipped the camera out, I showed it, and that video literally I think almost hit 300, 400, or maybe 500,000 views now. I forget. And I sold almost 2,000 of those doormats within like a week. And that company reached out to me because they were freaking out. That was their only product they had at the time, and they had no sales. And they sent me a sample, and I just happened to go crazy with the one video, which I had no expectations of doing. I was just making the video to fulfill my sample because it was a funny doormat, and Halloween was around the corner. And then sure enough, now if you go look at that company, they got like every kind of doormat you can think of. They got Christmas doormats, like Halloween doormats, Thanksgiving doormats. And I think for them, they showed that company that it could really work, because I was just doing it, just to do it. I didn't really think I was going to make a ton of sales off of it. And then sure enough, here we are.
Dude, yeah, it's funny that you said the Christmas doormat. They literally just put Christmas hats on like those three
Right,
guys.
right. Now they're just like improvising and making that same doormat, but with Christmas hats. Like it's so funny to watch, because companies are smart these days. Though, if they see something's working and they just need to tweak it for the next holiday, like they're already on it. They're fast.
And that's what makes it cool about creators too. Like I'd even like obviously we can talk about the video itself. I'll just break down the video too a little bit, but then I'll go into like what actually is behind the scenes, like you just said. Like the video, if people find it, are it's just truly how Logan speaks. And I don't want to give you credit, but like I'll say our personal experience, like I've been seeing diabolical like all over like TikTok, like everyone's saying it, and it feels like it was post your video. I
Right,
know we were saying it like all
right,
the
right,
time
right,
to each
right,
other, but now maybe it's just something that you hear people say, but
right.
like I think like when you said it and your video blew up, like it's definitely not a factor. So it just
No,
like cracked me up like when like we just say like everything's diabolical now. It's like,
right,
oh.
right. I just love using adjectives that like are just way too aggressive for what it should be. It just makes it for some reason funnier. And it throws everyone for a loop too when you're like describing something and you're like, something's bad. You're like, that's criminal, bro. Like you just say some word that like doesn't really fit, but it does. And like for me, it worked on that video. And I wasn't even trying to be that funny on the video. It was truly me just making a video for that doormat just to fulfill the sample, just so I didn't get, bad feedback from the company. And then for some reason that catchphrase just took off, and everyone was just commenting diabolical, diabolical in the comments. And it was just like, all right, this is it. Maybe I gotta, and I recreated that video a bunch of times, and it took off a few more times, but that one hero video is what really sold it.
It's funny how like all the dominoes aligned too. It's like you liked the video, you saw the product, they reached out to you, gave the free sample, then you were like, all right, I'm just gonna post something, and you not even thinking, you just being your authentic
Right,
self was the thing that
right,
got done. And it's funny how much leverage we have because obviously, you let's just say in theory, like that, like if you're like the creator that's blowing up for them, then you're able to up the commission. You're able to say like, I'll make 10 videos for you for $1,000. Like we have so much leverage as creators because like it's literally like this is the advertisement spend that like we can put into it without being
right,
commercials or anything like that. So it's very
right,
cool to think like, all right, obviously we love working with brands, but like it's all about product research. If we feel like we have good product research and can back up a product, then we have a lot of leverage as well. So TikTok
right.
just opens up a lot of doors. And I want to say like working in like because I did 9 to 5 too. You're still in 9 to 5, I believe. Is that right?
Yep.
So we're not going to bring up any of the company stuff, but it was basically it's something that just like you kind of like I was in a market research background and you'd like add up some pieces of like, oh, okay, like maybe like find the product, but then also just like being yourself is another element to it. So it's all very funny how like the universe just kind of like plays itself out and like eventually just
Right,
leads up to like doing something like TikTok shop. Like anytime someone asks, like I bet you like got a bunch of questions. Like actually I would love to know about the outside world 'cause I feel like I don't ask you a lot about it, but like it's funny when like my aunt's like best friend comes up and they're like, I seen your videos on TikTok. I'm like, listen, like I already start like apologizing. It's like, listen, I know I'm very self-aware. I know like I'm just creating stupid TikTok videos, but at the same time, I'm also creating TikTok videos and like earning an income from it. And there's a lot of
Right.
strategy behind it too. So I want to hear about like how people like talk to you, but like at the same time, it is a functional business model. So like once we have the monetization behind it, like people start to respect it and start to open up a lot of eyes.
Right.
Like when I
Right.
started, I'll let you speak after this, but once I started, I knew no one. I didn't tell anyone. And now there's like my friends' wives got into it, you got into it, and it's really just cool like having like a bunch of people that like put themselves out there, like taking a chance, like actually doing something bad instead of like scrolling for like 3, 4 hours.
Right. What's funny is that the before I started TikTok Shop, I had my personal account, and that posting the comedic lifestyle content was even kind of more of a harder mental hurdle for me to get over. For people like not judging you, but just like watching your videos and like either saying stuff to you in person about it, like why are you doing that, or like where you come up with this stuff, like what are you doing? That part was like the hardest part for me because I had this one video on my personal account that I posted, and it was like me making this Jake from State Farm commercial video, and it was like one of the silliest videos I've probably ever made. And like I had like such anxiety about posting because I had it in my drafts for the longest time, and I was like, I can't send this into the free world. Like this is criminal. Like, and sure enough, I was just finally one night, and I was laying in bed. It was like almost 11:30 at night. I was about to go to sleep, and I was just like staring at my drafts, and I was like, F it, I'm letting it fly. And I posted it, and like I went to bed, had 0 likes like for the first 3 hours, and I was like, I woke up in the morning and it was like picking up a little bit. I had like almost 20,000 something views on it. I was like, okay, this is my first, 10,000 plus view video. Great. And then a major influencer in the video game industry picked it up, and he started just messaging me like, hey, can I post this on my page? And I was like, sure. And like he started posting it, and then more people started picking it up. And by like I said, by like a week or a few days go by, it's at 10 million views, and I've gained 50,000 followers overnight. And it was just like, holy crap, what is going on right now? I'll never forget just like jumping in my room, like what is like just refreshing my phone every time, and it was just going crazy. And so that was like that broke the mental barrier for me for like I just gotta post. I cannot worry about what other people think, like because that before that I had no success, and it was like you said, it's like almost like a fake it till you make it because everyone says something until it works, and then they're like, whoa, can I get some help with this? Like, how did you do this? Like, can you show me? And then it kind of reverses the whole script of like what you had in your head of people talking to you about saying, why are you doing this? And now it's like, how are you doing this? And so it just kind of switches the whole vibe up, and it's crazy to watch.
It is very funny to watch how people's mindset change. And
Right.
also like I totally forgot that like a big influencer or streamer, whatever you said, like reach out to you, wasn't it Ninja?
Yes, it was Ninja. Yes, on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok is where I think he found it originally. But then, yeah, he posted it on his personal Instagram page, and then he posted it on Twitter, and that was a big catalyst for my overall page.
So funny how the universe works. I love it. It's all
Right,
just like
right. It was very full circle moment because it was just like I said earlier, it didn't feel real, because like obviously if people post on social media a lot, you're just seeing notifications every time you refresh. It's just 99, 99, 99. Like I couldn't even clear them at one point. And I was like, this has never happened to me before, and I never expected this. And I'm just like so thankful because it was like I never really thought of social media being a way to make money. It was just always initially for fun, to make people laugh, because that's just kind of where the whole idea for me posting was coming from, was just making stupid funny videos. And I had no goal of making money from it at first. And this was, like I said, before TikTok Shop was a thing. And then TikTok Shop came out, and it was like whispers about it, and I heard about it a little bit, and then I saw you posting it on TikTok with shop links, and I was like, I need to talk to Jack right now. I immediately texted you that minute I got off the app, literally texted you, and I was like, what is up, dude? Because you are the only person that I've ever seen do this, and I am very interested. So, and that's, like I said, that's how we got the ball rolling.
yeah, it's funny. So like I remember that text too, and you were just like, I want to get started right away. I'm like, dude, I just started being a coach. Well, let's hook you up. Let's get you in this agency somehow. Um, I guess we can like wrap it up. I want to bring it back to TikTok Shop too. being part of Stay Viral, like what have you noticed like the differences from like I know we talked about in the beginning, being like a lone wolf to like being like having like coaching and having a community, like where was that difference? Like where you do you think that contributed to your success at all? Did you find anything that was like interesting in like one of the coaching calls? Like anything. It can be very open-ended.
100%. It one, the community is great. Like I said, having someone else to give you feedback without in a judgment free zone is incredible. Because the first 5 videos I made were just a mess. I had no idea. There's no structure to my videos. There was no, rhyme or reason. It was just, like I said, no sales experience. And I was just posting. And it was like to have someone with like I said, no criticism, just straight up like, hey, you need to have a hook. You need to have a base. You need to have a call to action at the end. Like just having that simple structure and guidance changed the way I posted almost overnight. Like I couldn't break out of 200 view jail for like a month, and then getting this one piece of advice, I was in 2, 3,000, 4,000 views immediately. And it was just like it's just crazy how much confidence you have when you have people that are supporting you without fail. So that was one big thing. And the second thing was just product direction. Like I had no idea which way to go when I was trying to post products. Like obviously the people say, post what you like and, post what works and, what works for you, what you have around the house. But, at the end of the day, stuff that you have around the house might not sell. Like you might like it, but other people don't. So it's really helpful to see other people posting things that are working, because then it gives you ideas of what you could post. And, for instance, we have some companies that are working with Stay Viral that are in the book niche. And that's like a big niche for me now is books. And I would have never thought to do
You would have
books because
thought, yeah.
right, because I love podcasts, and the podcasts are a newer type of version of book. But point being is books crush, and they don't work for everyone. But I just found a niche that really works for me, and we happen to have a lot of partners that are book companies. And so once I started talking with them and understanding their product and how it works and what sells, what angles to use, like it changed the game in terms of like what you're supposed to post, how you're supposed to display it, and why it works versus just throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Yeah, and it's cool because like you did that book for Stay Viral, and then ironically, the person that is in Stay Viral now, the we were on like the brand manager for them, but they saw Logan's videos and another coach in our chat, Soph's videos, and they're like, "Oh my God, like you know them, like you know like these book creators." So like you were able to get a huge retainer from them. You were able,
Right,
and obviously they had like a lot of Stay Viral people in, and eventually we were able to bring them in. And then like now we have like 20 students like just replicating our content. It's just
right,
funny how like everything just like works in this like symbiotic way. And like everyone's very like friendly, I noticed like too. It's not like a very dog eat dog. Like I
right.
know like TikTok is starting to get like aggressive with like the
Yes,
coaching gurus, but like
yes,
Stay Viral, I know it's no one's really like tugging or comparing. They're always just like, oh man, if you're winning, then like I'm gonna replicate your video.
right,
I'm gonna try to find the same success. I'm gonna add a little bit of my own authenticity. And like
right,
I feel like we've been like having like a lot of success that way. So it's very cool to hear. And you
right. Yeah,
also
that was
go
one
ahead,
thing
go
that.
ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's not even important. It's more ADHD brain. Like it was cracking me up thinking like all the memories come back of like your first videos. You were doing like conspiracy style for like the phone, the magnetic phone holder. I'm like, he's trying. He's trying.
No, dude. Like I said, just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it would stick, was just such a chaotic way of trying to do it. So having a process that was like cemented just like changed it for me. And you said something earlier that I forgot I wanted to bring up, like retainers. Retainers are like game changers too. Like companies just offering you a full flat rate to post a certain number of videos, and then you get to keep the commission. Like that is
100%.
such a great way for people to get started that are not sure they're going to be able to sell a lot, but they want to get their feet wet. Like retainers are just such a perfect way to do it. And like I said, now yourself and myself run multiple companies are paying us retainers per month. So it's like you have a great floor of income, and then on top of it you get the commission. So it's like if you have a great month, you don't have to worry about not making any money because you don't make any sales, because you have this retainer that's giving you this floor of confidence to post. And it's like it changes your mentality when you have a safety net. And so I just wanted to touch on retainers. That's like such a great way to also get some stable income.
Yeah, and I think I just want to focus on that too, and more just for the people watching right now. I think retainers are awesome, but some people look at it as like, oh, I can post 10 to 30 videos and just make the floor price. That's great. Whereas,
Right,
like in your case, you're like, all right, I have to post 30 videos. I want to make them all quality, or like 10, 30, like I said, any range. And then you're like, if I make these videos, I'm making quality. So like while I'm getting that retainer, I can make a fire video that's going to boost my commission. So I'm going to be able to just make this endless stream of money, just keep going for months
Right.
and months and all compound. So you always have to be thinking about like, all right, they're asking me to make videos. I'm gonna do the requirement, but at the same time, like I'm trying to make mine not like let's like make sure these videos are like diabolically awesome.
No, 100%. And like, that's a great point. But don't use the retainers and get lackadaisical. The retainers are, to give you a pat on the back for being one, dedicated, and two, committed, and two, posting great content repeatedly month after month. So it's not a cushion to lay your head on. It's a stepping stone to get to the next step. Is a good way to put it. Because like I said, retainers they're a tool. They're not to be taken advantage of.
Yeah. And I kind of like TikTok does keep you humble. I feel like if like you're not producing you for like the brand and there's gonna be like we're cutting off your retainer. Like
Right,
that's
right,
happened to me a handful of times where it's just like, yeah, you're not making our sales, we gotta let you go. I'm like, no worries. And then you top on
right,
something
right.
fun. There's plenty of
Yeah,
options, but it's also at the same time, you gotta be
right.
delivering at the same time.
Business is business. You can't get too emotional about it. Like you said, if you're not making sales, you're not making sales, and so be it. But when you are, it's great. And so, like I said, that like, for instance, that the book company, like I hadn't sold any books for the first couple of weeks, and I was just posting this book just to post it. I was on no retainer at the time, and then I like, after a few weeks of posting this book and trying different angles and finding some that worked and having a bunch of videos go viral, I sold almost 2,000 copies of this book in a week. And then this company was like, we have to get you on retainer. Like, what are we doing? Like, what, you're just posting for free right now. Like, and so that's when
Yeah, that was nuts.
yeah, I just opened my eyes. I was just posting to post. I had no retainers. I was just posting this book, trying to sell it. And then, like I said, it sold almost 2,000 copies in a week. And this company's like, who is this kid? Get him on our team right now. And so now I get to post and make commission on the book and I get this retainer. And it's just like, it changes everything.
And that's a credit to you too. I don't want you to like think like that was just like a lapse on your part. Like there's a lot of creators or like students that come in and they're just like, all right, show me the way.
Right.
But you like we had the book already on retainer. You were just like, screw it, I'm gonna buy the book, like even though I'm not brand ready. And you
Right.
just started posting. And I think that separates the good or just creators from good creators to great creators to like people that are actually gonna like make a living and life-changing money on TikTok. So once like we'll go back to like 2020 one more time, but like there's people that just have it. And like once you said you want to do TikTok shop, like I was like, dude, you're gonna like be so grateful you made this life decision. So
I
it worked.
wouldn't have
It
done it
seemed to
without
work
you.
out very well. Yeah. All right.
I
I
need to,
think
need to push.
Zoom is, I think, about to cut us off in like 4 minutes.
All
Is there
right.
any closing remarks you have for the fans?
If you're serious about it and you want to do it, it's so easy to set up an account. And all I can say is post. Like, I know it's a mental hurdle and your people are going to judge you and, make fun of you and whatever, but like, just do it. Like you, at the end of the day, followers don't really matter on TikTok. And I know people talk about it, but it's more of a vanity. Like you can have 100 followers and make a great video and 10 million people can see it. And that's just such a, uh, idea that people don't realize. And it's like every video is a lottery ticket. So if you post one video, it could take off and change your life and you don't know. And so the more lottery tickets you send into the abyss, like the more chances you have of being successful. So all I can say is post. Don't let other people's judgments cloud yours, and just go for it, because that's the biggest hurdle for people is, oh, I'm gonna, what are other people gonna think of me? And you can't do that. If you're gonna be successful in this cutthroat TikTok shop industry, you just gotta post, and that is my biggest piece of advice.
Logan's a very humble guy. I think he does a lot of research behind his videos. He's always asking questions. But I think, yeah, the hurdle for most people is definitely just stop worrying what other people think, and you just gotta do the damn thing, take a
Right.
leap of faith, and then
Right.
post. So,
Yes, sir.
Logan, been a pleasure, and I'm so happy you're on the team. You're my guy.
It was a pleasure.
They're like, who is this Logan guy? I'm like, that's my best friend from college. Like, I'm always like hyping him up. I'm like, I hope he does good. And then like you said, like a month in, you were already one of the top creators. So I'm like, made my job easy, made me look good because I was like, I knew this guy had it, and it's clearly working. So I'm so
Hey,
happy for you, brother.
pressure makes diamonds. You set me up for success, so I can't thank you enough.
And like I said, like when you joined, like I didn't want to be your coach because I was like, we have a lot of great coaches on here,
Right,
and like Ronan's your coach. So like I was like, I'm always gonna be your resource. Have someone else, that way you have two resources instead of one. So when you're
right,
in Stay Viral, you have all the coaches at your disposal and all the students that are going through the trenches
right.
with you. So not to
Sh-
do a
Yeah,
hard sell on it, but I think it's just worked out very well for both of us, and I'm very happy with my decision. It sounds like you are too.
and shout out Ronan, dude is an absolute killer and a coach that you need. He changed the game for me, and shout out Dutch too. I appreciate you, man.
And Dutch, we can't forget Dutch. Yeah, he is the life force behind this, and Ryan. Like, it is just an awesome group. And I like that it's not like those giant communities that have like 5,000 people and
Right,
like
right,
they're just
right.
like answering like a big chat board, like it's one-on-one coaching and stuff like
They
that. But
always respond, and like you're not just a number. It really makes you feel like you got a team behind you.
well said, brother. All right. Well, you have a great rest of your day. Thanks everyone for watching, and like, comment,
It was
subscribe.
a
I don't know how
pleasure.
to end it. Yeah, we'll
Stay
just do
viral.
it. See ya.
See you guys.
I think, how do we do stop recording? There.